mask should collapse slightly when you inhale. Next, cover the mask's air outlet and exhale gently. The mask should bulge slightly. If the respirator fails the seal check, adjust and reposition it on your face. Then repeat the check until you have a good fit. Report to your supervisor if you can't get a good seal. You might need other adjustments or a different respirator.
At our restoration company, we take personal protective equipment very seriously, in particular respiratory protection, in that we can come across some serious situations that require high levels of respiratory protection. Every year we have a designated day for respiratory protection fit testing day that all of our employees are required to attend.
There are 4 main styles of respirator face pieces. An elastomeric half mask covers your nose and mouth. Dust masks also cover your nose and mouth, but they're made entirely of the filtering material. A full face mask seals around the face, all the way from the forehead to the chin. These 3 are examples of tight-fitting face pieces. They fit tightly, but should be fairly comfortable. Also, you can't wear a tight-fitting mask if your beard, mustache, sideburns, or eyeglass temples interfere with a good seal. Keep facial hair trimmed so it doesn't interfere with your respirator. There are lens inserts available for full-face respirators if you need to wear glasses. The 4th style of respirator is a hood or helmet, which is loose-fitting and surrounds your entire head. Respirators also have 2 main types: air purifying and atmosphere supplying. All respirators must be approved by the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, or NIOSH. An air purifying respirator removes contaminants from the air through a filtering or chemical absorbing element, a particulate filter, a canister, or a cartridge. Of the air purifying type, particulate filter respirators are commonly used in jobs like cutting, welding, sanding, grinding, spraying, and cleaning. They're designed to protect you from dust, mist, and fumes. A dust mask is the most common type of particulate filter respirator. An air purifying respirator with organic vapor cartridges is commonly used for working with solvents, such as acetone. There are many other types of cartridges and canisters for other types of vapors and gases. An atmosphere supplying respirator provides clean, breathable air from an uncontaminated source. This type of respirator would be used when the nature of the airborne hazard isn't known, or when the oxygen level falls below 19.5%, or when an air purifying respirator doesn't provide enough protection. There are 2 types of atmosphere supplying respirators. A supplied air respirator supplies clean air from a line attached to an air compressor. The air line restricts the wearer's movement. However, the respirator can be worn for an unlimited amount of time. A self-contained breathing apparatus, or SCBA, supplies clean air from a tank or canister that is carried with the worker. This allows for freedom of movement, but restricts the amount of time the wearer can work in the area due to the limited supply of air. Remember, it's your responsibility to wear the correct respiratory protection in all areas designated by your employer. Keep your respirator clean, be certain it fits properly, and watch for damage, missing parts, or wear and tear. Imagine what life would be like if you suffered a severe burn, cut, or chronic skin disease on your hands. Not only would it affect your ability to work, but it could also make everyday life at home much more difficult. That's why it's so important to wear the proper hand protection to safeguard against a variety of injuries. Gloves, of course, are the most common type of hand protection, but there are many types and styles of gloves to choose from. The key is to select the proper gloves for your work environment. Metal mesh and Kevlar gloves protect you against cuts and scratches from knives. Leather gloves are your best option for protection from extreme heat and cold, and they will also protect against minor cuts and abrasions. Fabric and coated fabric gloves are both designed to protect you from dirt and abrasions. The coated fabric gloves provide a better grip. Thin rubber or latex gloves protect against dermatitis, germs, and pathogens. These are commonly used when administering first aid and should be disposed of after each use. When you're done with them, carefully remove them by the cuff rather than the fingers and turn them inside out as you remove them. If the gloves are contaminated with blood, they'll need to be disposed of properly. Chemical-resistant and liquid-resistant gloves are designed to protect against chemical burns and irritation from chemical exposure, such as allergic dermatitis. When working with chemicals, you need to know specific details about those chemicals in order to choose the right glove for the job. Check the chemical safety data sheet or the glove manufacturer's chemical resistance chart for the recommended glove material, such as neoprene, nitrile, or natural rubber. Keep in mind there is no single type of glove that protects from all chemicals. Always use the proper glove material as instructed by your employer. Finally, insulated gloves are designed to protect you from electrical charges. Be sure to choose the right glove for your work environment, and in some cases, you may need to layer more than one type of glove to get the adequate protection you need. You should wear the proper foot protection if there's any chance of something sharp or heavy falling onto, rolling over, crushing, or puncturing your feet. OSHA requires that safety shoes and boots meet the standards set by ANSI or the American Society for Testing and Materials, or ASTM, for protection against those hazards. Safety shoes and boots are marked on the inside with a stamp or label to show what hazards they're approved for. Safety shoes and boots may include features such as protective toe guards. These protect your toes from impact and compression from heavy or sharp objects. But beware, there's a limit to how much protection they can provide. Thermal insulation for working in hot and cold environments. Insulating soles to protect against electrical hazards. Again, there are limits on how much voltage protection they provide. Choose protective footwear that provides adequate protection for your work environment. Conductive and static dissipative soles to prevent static charges that could damage electronic equipment or cause an explosion. And steel insoles to protect the bottom of your feet from punctures. Additional protective options based on your work environment may include metatarsal guards, instep protection for the top of your feet, rubber or plastic safety boots for protection from water, oil, acids, corrosives, and chemicals. Tight-fitting elastic gores, which allow for a tight fit and quick removal. These come in handy in foundry work, where sparks or hot metal could get inside the boot. And strap-on cleats for added traction.
I have seen someone have a broken toe because they were standing next to a forklift and the driver didn't have it in park, and when he hit the gas, the unfortunate employee had her toe run over. She wasn't wearing her safety toe covering. She thought, oh, I'll just be in and out of the warehouse real quick, no big worry. So, well, that was, 4 weeks of rehab, a cast, and then light duty for a while.
We have a lot of customers that come in with stories about how actually having the protective toe has saved them or their foot. I've seen pictures. If they hadn't had the boot or shoe on, they would have lost their foot. So we hear a lot of different stories, more so that the boot having the protection saved their foot.
Your protective footwear needs to be comfortable and needs to be worn properly. Know what your shoes or boots are designed to protect against and know their limits, and inspect them every day to make sure they're in good condition and replace them if they're damaged. All of these tips can help you avoid foot injuries on the job. Knowing and wearing the right kind of PPE can minimize the risk of hazards that can't be eliminated. Be sure to use personal protective equipment correctly. Follow all the manufacturer's instructions and your company's procedures. Understand the limits of your PPE's protection. Keep it clean and store it properly. Make sure it's in good working condition, and if it's not, contact your supervisor and have it repaired or replaced. Taking a little time each day to follow these guidelines will help keep you safe on the job, prevent long-term damage, and promote good health and well-being.